Listen, they're trying to play these cute little games, Matt, wanting to pit Latinos against African Americans. Listen, folk, don't fall for the okie doke. These white Republicans don't give a damn. They have been screwing over Latino voters, and now they're trying to play the opportunist game. Nah, don't fall for the okie doke.
Yeah, and we know that Texas demographics don't support that. We know that the majority of Texans probably don't even want Republicans. I mean, I think they're looking at the changes that may have occurred in the Valley in the last elections as it relates to Republicans winning a lot. But I don't believe that the data that Abbott is saying is supporting the way they're redrawing these maps is really supported. And you heard that from Rep. Anchia. And one thing I really wanted to say is on this show, I often talk about political pageantry, but Gavin Newsom just had one of the best presidential stump speeches I've seen in a while in his audition for president. And I think a lot of that is the undercurrent of this. Not only Gavin Newsom, but also Greg Abbott. They're both, angling for 1600 Pennsylvania in the next election. And I think some of this is an outcropping of that. But I think that was very smart the way he not only promoted those Texas Democrats who have done their job, in my opinion, and broken with the quorum, but took that opportunity to really not only align himself with the second largest state, being in the largest state in the country, but to call out Donald Trump directly and to take that tension and say, we're calling you out. I think that's very smart to do that. And I think you've spoken about the benefit of doing that kind of thing when you go to Mike Johnson's district, for instance. I think that's very smart the way they're playing that. But I think the bigger thing about all of this is Texans don't want this. And one more point to that. Look at John Cornyn. He's scared he's going to lose to Ken Paxton, right? So that's why John Cornyn is calling for the FBI to find Texas Democrats somewhere else in the country and bring them back. It's all political pageantry, and it's all to do Donald Trump's bidding, and it's all to retain their power here in Texas, even though the demographics don't support it and the people don't want it.
Absolutely. And Raven, they're pissed off that Democrats are there in your state of Illinois, saying, oh, that's one of the most gerrymandered states. And here's the whole deal. Republicans, you gerrymandered, so you're mad that Democrats are gerrymandering. And what Gavin Newsom is doing, what Pritzker, Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois has been saying, and then, of course, you may see it in Virginia, in Maryland, in New York State. It's like, yo, we're not going to sit here and handcuff ourselves while you bash us over the head with a bat. We're going to grab a bat ourselves and bash you over the head and gerrymander the hell out of our states. If you want to play fair, let's play fair. And let's remember, Raven, when a bill came up in Congress to make it illegal, to have gerrymandering across the country, every Republican voted against, all Democrats voted for. The Democrats said, let's get rid of gerrymandering. Not one Republican voted for that bill. That tells you exactly where they stand. And everything they say right now is horseshit.
Yeah, Roland, I mean, I think you're really spot on. And kind of as Gavin Newsom was speaking, I thought it was really interesting that he mentioned the terminology of temporary gerrymandering. And I think that underlines the point that you're making, that in so many ways, when Democrats gerrymander, it's in response to the abuse of power being proliferated by Republicans. I also don't think all gerrymandering is made the same, right? When Republicans gerrymander, it's to further sideline historically disenfranchised communities. When Democrats gerrymander, it's to give voice to historically disenfranchised communities. So these types of gerrymandering are absolutely not made the same. I also really, really like what he said about it being as American as apple pie for a minority to stand up and protest, right, against a majority that is very blatantly abusing their positionality and their stance, in a congressional sort of standing. And I think this is really important to name. This has been a huge inflection point of watching Texas Democrats give that knuck if you buck energy. Like I'm so here for it. And especially as a young person involved in politics, what I'm hearing from my peers over and over again is that folks are hungry for that, right? Don't just lay down and take it. Like, let's fight back. Show me that energy. And I think it's really incredible that that's what we're seeing from our electeds right now. I spent a big portion of my childhood in Houston, Texas. Texas is the first place that I voted in 2016 when I was eligible to vote. And it's dope to be in Illinois now and to be seeing my governor really stand 10 toes down, in line with these Texas Democrats. Super important.
Yeah, indeed. Folks, hold tight. I want to go to Michael here. Michael, again, I don't think people understand how serious this is. We were signaling that when it came to Project 2025. We know what their game plan is. Republicans are scared to death. We are seeing prices going up. Donald Trump is freaking out. You saw he was lying the other day in the Oval Office with these fake job numbers because they know they're going to get their asses kicked when you keep getting bad news for the next 12 months. And so they're trying to get ahead of this, and Democrats must be constantly on the attack every single day.
Absolutely have to be on attack every single day. But as Governor Greg Abbott increases the pressure, and as State Attorney General of Texas Ken Paxton increased the pressure, we saw today that the Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows in Texas, in addition to announcing that they were going to that the House members have to show up to pick up their $750 stipend check, but also they were going to take away 30% of the monthly budget of each member's office as well, which impacts their staff. So Democrats are going to have to fight back economically also. Okay, and it's going to, because the pressure is increasing on Democrats, but the pressure is not increasing on Republicans. They're in Texas. So I think what they're going to have to look at doing is also having targeted, sustained, strategic economic withdrawal strategies of certain corporations that help finance these Republicans in the Texas state legislature. Okay, and then have nationwide economic boycotts targeting those corporations to push back and put pressure on those Republicans also. But this is predicted, and Roland, this is the same week as the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, August 6, 1965. And you talk about the map in Alabama. We know Alabama was ground zero for the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And people have to connect the dots because, yes, we talked about Project 2025. This is a power grab, a white nationalist power grab that's taking place. But the reason why you needed the 1965 Voting Rights Act is because of what happened in Mississippi in 1890. The Mississippi State Convention, where they rewrote the state constitution to impose poll taxes, literacy tests, but also a lifetime felony disenfranchisement law. So if you got convicted of a felony, you lost your right to vote for life. That felony disenfranchisement law is still law in Mississippi to this day in 2025 that went into effect in 1890. All of that was specifically targeting African-American men who were voting. So we have to connect that history to what's going on today. It was white nationalism and white supremacy in 1890. It's the same thing right now. We have to continue to fight back, but fight to win.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.